In order to allow the Eight brothers to use the tractor half shaft with high-cost performance, this small workshop must produce it independently, although their entire production environment is relatively ordinary in the end. In the first process of making the half shaft, the masters need to heat the steel sheet because they want to improve the overall quality of the half shaft, so they have to use the traditional high-temperature braking process. At this time, the masters only need to heat it to bright red. In this process, they first need to use the braking process is still very fast, and it is over. At this time, the half shaft is still a blank. At this time, the master can carry out detailed processing. The first process of processing is to use the turning tool to machine the outer diameter of the flange end flat. The shaft part of the half shaft head also needs to be carefully cut. Of course, the purpose of this step is only to make the surface flat, because only after the processing is flat, the masters can easily process the standard art. Of course, this processing process is still very fast. For example, the screw thread fixing hole on the flange end of the half shaft. We only need to use a special mold to limit the position, then use the drilling machine to make a detailed opening. Although the environment of this small workshop is relatively ordinary, it is also a leading processing enterprise. At this time, after the masters have finished processing the general outline of the half shaft, they can use the high-end ruler washing machine to process the flower sword groove of the head. In this processing process, there are high-end equipment. It only takes more than 10 minutes to process such a standard spline groove. In order to improve the overall firmness of the half shaft, the masters will use the high-end high-frequency brittle fire machine for brittle fire treatment. Such heat treatment can not only improve the overall strength of the half shaft, but also improve the toughness and mechanical properties. The production of the heat-treated tractor half shaft, the master also needs to open the head for the line position fixing hole, so that the line position pin can be used to fix the head nut. After the head fixing hole is processed, the grinder can be used to grind the shaft of the half shaft. Because the oil seal needs to be installed later, it has been polished to a smooth finish, which can effectively increase the service life of the oil seal. After the shaft is polished to a silky smooth finish, the master only needs to process the thread on the head for subsequent fixation. In this process, the master completed the processing of the pattern very quickly after a series of operations of gathering the head and arranging the face. In the final finishing process, it is necessary to machine a suitable groove on the flange end and then cut off the center hole of the head for auxiliary fixing. After watching the entire processing process of the Pakistani small workshop, what do you think of their processing technology? If there is a 10-point score, how many points would you be willing to give?